question number 3. So what would the third thing be that parents should know when they're looking for an orthodontist?
You've got to find an orthodontist who understands Airway, right?
That's
I mean, if anyone wants a copy of this paper, I'm happy to share it. This year, 2019, the American Orthodontic Association came out with a white paper on airway-related problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And particularly in children.
Yes,
So
it's a big deal.
what we need to understand is an orthodontist is not just looking at your kid's crooked teeth. They're asking questions like, does your child snore? You know?
Or they should be asking those questions.
Correct, you know?
They might not, but
because let me tell you, no child should snore.
yes.
Right, number one. Number two, what's your child's sleep like? You know, does it take them a long time to get to sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they do fall asleep, is it disruptive sleep? Do they have to wake up and go to the toilet, or do they wet their bed? That's another big one, right? And there's so much research now to link poor sleep with what we know as attention deficit disorder, right?
Yes.
So the orthodontist are asking questions, you know, does your child grind their teeth at night, right? And I use a questionnaire for parents called the BEARS questionnaire, also happy to share that document. So I think it's important to work with an orthodontist who understands the relationship between poor sleep, poor nasal airway, and how that can affect facial growth. You know, in my original research and the first paper that we published, Australian Orthodontic Journal, we looked at Linda Aronson's sample, where he had children who had large adenoids and were mouth breathers. He compared them to children who were breathing normally through their nose, and then he looked at a group that were mouth breathers who had nasal obstruction, who had their ear, nose and throat issues resolved and became nasal breathers. Really good study. And what did he show? The children that were habitual mouth breathers had narrower jaws, longer faces, more crooked teeth. You know, so there's definitely correlation between mouth breathing and sleep issues and malocclusions. So I think you've got to work with an orthodontist who understands airway. I think that's a really big thing. In this day and age, if they're not asking the right questions about airway, they're just focusing on, look, we can get your 4 teeth straight. I mean, do you want a child to have the 4 teeth straight and the overjet reduced and still not be doing well at school because they're not sleeping well? Exactly. So I think airway is, I know you asked me the 5 things, but you didn't say in which order. I'll put airway number 1.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Great.